The first tremors were subtle, almost gentle, like the faint rumble of a faraway drum. But by the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the village of Greyshaw had become a landscape of trembling earth and panic. Houses that had stood for generations groaned and cracked under the pressure, roofs sagging, walls splitting, windows shattered, sending shards of glass flying into the evening air. The cobblestone streets twisted and buckled, opening jagged fissures in the ground. In the middle of the chaos, under the ruins of a half-collapsed cottage, a newborn baby boy lay curled in a soft cloth. His tiny chest rose and fell with shallow, frightened breaths. He had been placed there by his mother only hours earlier, wrapped in layers of blankets, in hopes that he would remain unnoticed during the tremors. His cries were muffled by the weight of the debris above him, yet somehow, instinctively, he knew to keep silent at the sound of falling stones and the screams of the villagers outside. Above the rubble, the faint black figure of a lone African penguin waddled nervously along the cobbled streets. He had been separated from his traveling colony during the previous week's storm, and he now found himself navigating the strange smells and sounds of human civilization. Something primal nudged at him, urging him to follow a soft, distant cry. The penguin's tiny, webbed feet clumsily traversed the shifting ground, dodging broken wooden beams and scattered pottery. The baby whimpered again, a small, helpless sound that carried through the cracks in the fallen wall. The penguin's sharp black eyes caught the movement of a cloth fluttering slightly from beneath a broken beam. It was a sound and a sight. The penguin recognized not danger, but vulnerability. His instincts screamed at him. This creature was in need, and he was the only one there to protect it. With a determined waddle, the African penguin squeezed under the fallen timber, his flippers pushing against the debris. Tiny stones and splinters pressed into his belly, but he didn't care. Inch by inch, he made his way closer to the baby, chirping softly a sound that seemed almost like reassurance amidst the chaos. The baby's cries grew quieter as the penguin approached, instinctively understanding the presence of a small, non-threatening creature nearby. Hours passed like this, the night stretching into a tense, fearful limbo. Fires from toppled lamps glowed in the distance, reflecting off puddles that had formed from broken water vessels. Outside, villagers shouted, their voices carrying commands and cries for loved ones. Rescue efforts were beginning, but most could not reach the ruins yet, blocked by fallen beams and walls that threatened to collapse further. The African penguin finally reached the baby. He nudged the infant gently with his beak, careful not to disturb the fragile breathing. The baby's eyes fluttered open, wide and innocent, peering at the black-feathered creature that had just entered his world. The penguin shifted closer, curling its tiny body against the baby's cloth-wrapped form, providing warmth from the chill night air. He lay there like a tiny guardian, a protector formed not by strength alone, but by instinct, loyalty, and a singular determination to keep this fragile life alive. Outside, a loud crash resonated through the village. the remnants of a once sturdy wall collapsing nearby. The penguin flinched, but did not move away from the baby. Every instinct it had screamed to flee from the danger, yet its devotion to the newborn held firm. It chirped again, a low, comforting sound, and the baby, feeling the gentle warmth and the presence beside him, quieted. Eventually, dawn approached, painting the sky in soft streaks of pink and gold. The tremors subsided, leaving a quiet eeriness over the village. Dust and smoke hung in the air, making every breath thick with the scent of fallen stone and displaced earth. Rescue teams, alerted by frantic neighbors, arrived with carts, ropes, and tools to dig through the rubble. They were just beginning to clear the debris when a sharp, persistent chirp caught their attention. Following the sound, the rescuers reached the collapsed cottage. What they found astonished them. Under a broken wall, wrapped in blankets, lay the tiny baby boy, alive and alert, nestled against him, protecting him with unwavering loyalty. Was a small African penguin, feathers ruffled and eyes shining with determination. The team carefully lifted the debris, ensuring both lives were safe, and carried them to a makeshift shelter where warmth and blankets awaited. News of the miraculous survival spread quickly. The villagers could hardly believe that a newborn lost under rubble had been protected not just by fate, but by the courage of an unlikely hero. The African penguin, small and seemingly fragile, had persevered through collapsing walls, falling debris, and the cold night air to keep the baby alive. In the following days, the baby boy thrived under the care of his grateful parents, who refused to separate him from his tiny black guardian. The penguin waddled beside the infant wherever he went, chirping gently, ever watchful, ever protective. The villagers would often pause in awe, witnessing a bond unlike any they had seen before, bond formed through fear, danger, and unwavering loyalty. And so, in the heart of the ruined village, a tiny miracle persisted, a newborn baby boy, wrapped snugly in cloth, and an African penguin, his steadfast protector, ready to face any challenge together, no matter how insurmountable. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more incredible tales of courage and connection. We'll see you in the next video.